Hey everybody, this is Joe over at Synergy 17, and I'm going to go over a quick overview about TexTack and how to use it for doing foils on your garments. So when you first receive it, it's got this bluish tint on it. This is just a protective coating sheet that you need to remove before you cut and before you press. One thing you got to be careful is some people tend to pick the corner to get the blue off. It's very, very easy to come off. So right here you can see it's just a really, really light, really thin piece. Some people are actually grabbing the adhesive itself and they're separating it from the carrier sheet, and then you'll end up with nothing. So I'm trying to see if I can grab it, just take it off so you can see what it looked like if I actually grab the wrong layer. So maybe I get a pick. So that's why I tell people to be careful when they're trying to get the blue layer off, because sometimes they might grab this layer, and then if you pull that part off, you'll have nothing but the carrier sheet. So be careful when peeling off the blue. Another quick way of doing it, I'll do it in another corner, is to take a piece of Scotch tape, and sometimes you can just put it on there and peel it back, and it'll help to remove, let's see if you can see that, it'll help to remove it right here. See, I got the blue on it. It'll help me remove the blue on it without pulling this off. So what you want to do is take this blue protective layer off, and then next, if you ever leave it there for too long and you don't know what side you're supposed to cut on, because it's just clear, you can do this. Take your fingernail, and if you just touch it like this, it's very smooth on the carrier sheet. It doesn't grip or anything, it just slides right across. But on the TexTack side, it's kind of feels like rubbery, so it's not as smooth. So this side, the back side, is very clear and smooth, and it's a little bit harder. On the TexTack side, it's like a little bit more rubbery. So that's a quick way of knowing which side you're going to cut on. And you're going to cut on the side that's rubbery, which is the material, and you're going to put your graphic reverse, and I'll go over that right now. Okay, now that we've identified which side is the carrier sheet and which side is the TexTack, we're just going to load it into the cutter. Hold on. And on the GCC cutters, they have these little, and most other cutters, they have these little white marks here. I want to try to get the most use out of my material, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find two spots where my material, the white spots line up on each edge. So if I start from over here, I can see that I can get this white mark and this white mark. So I'll go ahead and do that. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to measure this out. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to bring my material in a little bit so I don't waste it. I like to get it right around my sensor is, and then I set my origin there. Okay, that's my new origin. Now we'll send the job over and we'll cut this out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue on the graphic side of using TexTack. So I'm in Oobling. You guys can use whatever software you like that works with your cutter or your design software, Illustrator, WinPC, Silhouette, any of your cutting software. And what I want to do is I imported this Spartan helmet. It's like an SVG file, and because TexTack works the same as regular heat transfer vinyl, you want to mirror it. So I'm going to mirror it, flip it around, set it to whatever height or whatever size your material is. I'll go ahead and leave it at 6 inches, and I'm going to send it to the cutter. So I'm going to say cut. What I like to do in Oobling is I have a pull the plotter option, which means it's going to go read how wide my material is, and it's going to report back on what it finds. So when I do that, it tells me the material is 11 inches. The way I have it laid out is 11 inches wide for that piece. And I can actually put something else in here if I'd like. This graphic I did is 6 inches, so I couldn't fit 2, but I can go back and I could rescale it to, let's do 5.25. I'll go ahead and cut. Now if I pull the plotter, I could probably fit 2 in there, and I don't want them to repeat that way. I want them to repeat top of each other. Whoops. Let me change my spacing a little bit. So now I'm going to come this way. So everything looks good. So I'll go ahead and send it over to the cutter and we'll record that. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to pull that out and we'll weed it. Okay, what we want to do now that we pulled it out of the cutter is we want to weed it. So I have two of these little helmets here. Keep that for another project. And I have two of them here. I'm just going to do one right now. So we'll save that one for another project. And you might not see it very well, but it's there. It's maybe hard on the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and weed this. People want to know about how difficult it is to weed. So as long as you have your cutter settings right, just like regular heat transfer vinyl. I'm going to peel this off. And there's the helmet ready to press. So my my heat press is just about up to temperature, so we'll go ahead and do this all in one shot. And I want to press this at 300 degrees for 5 seconds, and then we're going to do a hot peel on this. So I'm going to move this a little bit. So I'm going to put this face down. So of course on most things you want to pre-press your garments so you get a good adhesion, but for this example I'm just going to go ahead and press it as is. So I'll do it in this bottom corner so I can use this for other samples. So let's do this for 5 seconds. So this is a warm/hot peel, so I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. And you can see that the material is on the garment right there. Now we're going to pick a color. Lots of different colors here, so we'll just go with I think this is a confetti silver, so I'll go ahead and use this. And I don't have to use I place the whole piece if I want right now, but I'm just going to cut a little piece off of it. About 6 inches here. Actually I have a little scrap piece here, so I'll cut it right there. So I have a little mark in this right here where I used some earlier. So hopefully this will fit right there. And I'm going to press this. And people were asking me about should you use a cover sheet. You can. I actually have one built onto my heat press already. So most of my demos I don't have it that way. But you can place your cover sheet over it if you like. Now, same temperature, 300 degrees, but you're going to do it for 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, now this is the important part. This is, the foil itself is a cold peel foil. So what you want to do is either let this cool or speed up the cooling process by either placing something cold over it, or if you'd like, you could put the garment up against something that's cold. Let's see, I'm going to look see if I have something cold on me, like a catalog or something. If I do this right here, this will help draw the heat away from it. Or like I said, so now it helps cool down. Or I could take this and put it against something cold, of course, like my laser here. But the whole point is we want it to cool off before we peel it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to peel this away, and you can see where it peeled the mask from that. And here's what it looks like. So, pretty simple process. And let me show you something. If it's ever not cold, what you'll get is you can get these little tiny pieces. Watch, let me get in there close. If you see right there, there's little flakes of foil. Those will actually come off very easy. You just want to wipe those off, and that's because I didn't cool it down completely. But if you notice when I wipe it off, it'll actually be the exact pattern of it. So it's okay if that flakes off, because it's not going to flake where the adhesive is. It's just flaking where extra foil was. So you can wipe all that off, and then you have your perfect pattern there.